Welcome, Colts fans, to our reaction to the Colts' 33-8 season opening win over the Miami Dolphins. I was joined by Sam Frick, Will Retherford, Mike Rich, and Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader, with a conspicuous absence by Dolphins fan producer Susie. Oh, but here she is.
You're listening to Colts Reaction with Sam Frick, Will Rutherford, Mike Rich, and Michelle Garmon. And here's your host, Greg Mengelt.
Thanks, producer Susie. Welcome, Colts fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report and our reaction from a stunning Colts 33-8 victory over producer Susie's Miami Dolphins. And we'll start with Sam. Sam texted he wanted to name a Colts player of the game. Good luck, Sam, because there were a bunch of them.
Yeah, that is for sure. You look at this game today, this was the game in which the late Jim Irsay was inducted into the Ring of Honor for the Indianapolis Colts. And you can get a sense right away the Colts definitely were motivated to win this game for Jim. You know, they've done all the celebrations, whatnot, honoring him and what he's done for the Colts. But to come out with this dominant win, 30-8 against the Miami Dolphins, was just an impressive way to start the season. Daniel Jones just this was the best I've ever seen him play, to be quite honest. He was that stellar for the Colts at quarterback. But I think the big theme coming out of this was the defense. I think we forced, 3 or 4 turnovers in that game. You know, Nick Cross, Latu, Kenny Moore was solid as well. We were getting after Tua the whole entire game, about 3-4 sacks there. So our defense did its job. Our offensive line did its job. But really the most impressive thing coming out of this, and I would say who would be my Colt of the game, it would be Daniel Jones. He was freaking awesome today. We'll see if he can keep it up, but for at least for this 1 week, he was really good.
You can see why they made that decision, Will.
He played well. I feel like we should say that with the caveat of the Dolphins are also fighting for the number 1 pick. That is a horrible team.
Awful.
That is awful. I mean, I've just never seen anything quite like it in my life. I felt bad. That just belt to ass. It was just dad spanking child for its bad behavior all day. They had no mercy. They played fast, physical, and aggressive. I think it's tough to argue against Daniel Jones for the player of the game. I thought the defense played phenomenal. Lou Anarumo was dude's a game changer. That defense looks really fast, really physical, and they just have a huge advantage, I think, over others if they're not sharp. I think that they created turnovers. They caused ruckus. They played really well. This was a great Week 1 win for Colts fans who have had very little to cheer for Week 1 in the past 12 years.
Hey, Mike, how much should this make us overreact?
I think it's easy to overreact here. I think Colts fans are going to be thinking, you know, we're headed for the playoffs, but it's a long ways away.
By the way, the Colts are headed to the playoffs.
I agree with Sam and Will. I think Daniel Jones, 3 touchdowns. I mean, 2 rushing touchdowns. He played the way he needed to play. I'm curious what the competition was between him and Anthony Richardson, what I've seen of Anthony Richardson in the past. I mean, it was nice to see somebody be a pocket passer, run when they needed to. He was, I thought Daniel Jones was a little tentative on, he would, you know, kind of scramble a little bit, and it's like, why don't you just run the ball? I thought he could have got a few more rushing yards. But who really impressed me was the rookie, Tyler Warren. I thought he just had a phenomenal game. I don't know what his stats were exactly, but I think he had 7 catches for probably over 60, 70 yards.
Today was the first game of a Hall of Fame career for Tyler Warren.
It just changed the whole offense, I thought. I thought having that extra option. And I think tight end is probably one of the toughest positions to, you know, on offense to come into, and because you're blocking, you're playing the slot, you're just doing multiple things. And for him as a rookie to come in, and I mean, he just looked really, really good. Hopefully there's no injury to Jonathan Taylor. He did not play too much in the second half. it's a little concerning there, but maybe they just felt he could get the rest, and this was a good game to take that rest. But no, all in all, just a really good game. I thought it was well coached. I thought the offense, the defense, I thought special teams. I mean, our kicker didn't miss a field goal, didn't miss an extra point. It was
So many
just a
weapons out there. Nobody had a huge game offensively, but so many
no,
different guys had good games.
just clean. It was clean. Heck, even they had 3 holding penalties in a row, and they got it back on a freaking defensive holding, which was, that I think that was kind of just the story of the game. I mean, that's how bad the Dolphins are. You have somebody 1-30, and you give up a holding penalty on defense and give it right back to them. So, but all in all, I just, I didn't know how to take this season. I'm like, do I just want to root for them to lose every week, or do I? I am happy with the win. Danny Dimes, he produced today, and he is more of a pocket passer, which is, I think, what is best for the Colts offense. And I mean, Richardson can't stay in a game for more than a quarter because he's going to, take off running. He's going to get hit and he's going to get hurt. So it was good to see that our quarterback made it through the whole game without injury, without going to a backup. Super happy as a Colts fan to see him win today, and let's see what happens next week.
I thought
All right, Sam, we talked a little bit about not overreacting. In your heart, are you overreacting a little bit?
I'm dealing with emotions right now. Part of me says yes. Another part of me says no. Remember, we talked about this before the season started, that there was a chance that the Colts could come in the season with nothing to lose. And so that no pressure mentality could impact the way they perform at the start of the season. We're seeing that so far with basically some new guys coming in. You got new quarterback in Daniel Jones. You got Warren coming in tight end. He looks like he's going to be a great tight end. Rob Gronkowski type of tight end. New look secondary, if you would, for the Colts. Different kicker, if you would. The Colts just had a lot of things going in their way for this first game. But I think the big question is going to be what's going to happen after that first game where you don't have that emotional wave going in front of you for that very moment and whatnot. That next game against Denver, I think, is going to be very telling of what's to come for the first half of the season, because I think Denver's defense is going to be a much more of a challenge, and particularly the pass rush in terms of for Daniel Jones to see the defense and be able to be successful next week.
We now welcome in Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood call leader. And Michelle, we're talking about should we be overreacting as Colts fans? Your thought on the Colts 33-8 win over the Dolphins?
I'll tell you, my thought was I thought it was a really good week 1 performance. It didn't surprise me. I really thought the Colts would be up and inspired to play today because of it being Jim Irsay Day. All the former Colts players and staff members and different things that came back for his induction into the Ring of Honor posthumously. So, and I thought the team would be fired up, and I thought they came and played it. And first, I thought as inspired and as sharp as the Colts were, I thought the Miami Dolphins were just as disengaged and awful. Daniel Jones had a great game. I think there's 3 big reasons for that. 1, Shane Steichen, I think, scripted a really good game plan. 2,
He did.
the offensive line was really good today. I mean, and I think that will be a key for the Colts. This offensive line looks maybe a little bit more athletic than in the past, and I think if they can stay healthy, it will be a big bonus for the Colts.
And Michelle, the Dolphins aren't good, but their defensive line is pretty good. It was a nice performance by that line.
Yes, it really was. And the third thing is his receivers didn't drop passes. In fact, each one of them, I believe, had an outstanding catch today. That's really good. Daniel Jones looked like a veteran presence, and if you watched him today, you would have never believed some of the performances you'd seen from him in the past, because I thought he was methodical, which is what you want a quarterback to be. Greg, I think I heard you say something about franchise quarterback. Here's my thoughts. If Daniel Jones can be steady enough, maybe he's the guy then that when you draft somebody, you can come in and that rookie doesn't have to start right away. Maybe he can become a guy that's serviceable enough that a rookie can come in and learn behind and then take the reins when he's ready. That's the way it should be. That's the way it's worked in Green Bay. I mean,
Okay,
that's the way
I'm
it's
just
worked in
saying.
Green Bay. That's
I
the way it's
don't
worked
want
in
the guy to
Kansas
be
City.
Daniel Jones. He's as average gets, and it's just not to know.
You don't need a rookie to come in. If he's average enough, like Alex Smith was, then
Yeah,
you can
that's the
come
perfect.
in
That's
and
the
the rookie
perfect.
doesn't have to start right away.
That's the
I just see
perfect
things as you
example.
build. You can't throw money on and hope that it all pays off. The Colts got spoiled because they got lucky. They got two NFL ready quarterbacks in Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck with #1 draft pick back to back. That doesn't happen very often. So but anyway, but I thought the Colts did. Their defense was all right. I agree with whoever said that the linebackers weren't really tested. That's probably, my big concern with them. I will say this: I do think I I think Tua should have. I even said that in our group text. I think he should have retired after his after his last concussion last year. I just don't. He didn't look like even early in the. I mean, he just never looked like he was really engaged in the game. And I know they fell behind early, but they were still within striking distance some. And Mike McDaniel, I mean, my gosh, for a head coach, he I think he's a lame duck head coach, and I think he knows it. No, you?
He looked like Henry Winkler on The Water Boy.
Yeah, I mean, Greg, I hate it for Susie, but it's going to be a long year to be a Miami Dolphin fan.
At least they have the hopes of a future franchise quarterback because they're going to be awful, which is kind of what I was hoping for the Colts.
Huh?
Greg,
Well, they're going to make the playoffs. Their roster's too good. Today we saw their defense is fast, Mike. Their offensive line is top 10. They have everything it takes to be a playoff team. It's whether they win the division or not. They're still not even in the ballpark with Buffalo, Baltimore, and these other teams. So I don't know.
Kansas City, the Chargers.
Yeah, Denver.
I mean, yeah, Denver. I mean, yeah, you
The
may be a wild card.
is that you sneak into the playoffs, you lose the first round, and now you have Daniel Jones as your franchise quarterback.
And next draft's a great draft for quarterbacks, and
Exactly. So I don't to be negative after a 33-8 win. I really didn't want to do this, but Michelle made me.
Michelle made you.
Yes.
Hey, Greg, I didn't say he's a franchise quarterback, but if you can get 3 solid years out of him and get a guy in that can learn, because he is a professional. He's a professional in how he approaches the
I
game.
didn't want to waste 3 years of my life on Daniel
He's a
Jones.
professional in how he builds a culture and a bond with his receivers. That's what young.
Real quick, Greg, who was it that didn't want them to draft Peyton Manning?
I've changed my mind a lot in 25 years.
Yeah. That's okay. But you were
She's right.
Wrong about that one. So
I was definitely wrong about that one. I did not want.
But they didn't draft Daniel Jones. They saw what they had in Daniel Jones for the last 6 years. That's what Greg's concern is, I think.
Yeah. And he was good enough to be a starting quarterback.
Maybe they saw something that they think in a right system he's good at.
Yes, he is good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. But if he is your quarterback, a franchise quarterback, you're going nowhere. And this is way too negative after a 33-8 win. Let's talk about some positive things. Sam, that defense looked really fast.
Really fast, attentive to the detail, just a very complimentary defensive performance from everybody across the board.
Coached.
It wasn't just one guy. It was everybody doing their job today. On the secondary, linebackers position, defensive tackle, everybody did its job really well. I hope we can stay healthy because if we can, we're really good defensively, I think.
And they looked really well coached in the defense. Mike, it looks like Lou Anarumo is the real deal.
Oh, he's definitely the real deal. I think that was the biggest upgrade in the offseason. It was getting rid of Bradley and bringing him in. I mean, it was a whole different defense. I thought the scheme was really good. They won the turnover battle. I think that was a big key too in this win. We had 0 turnovers and to 3, so we're +3 in the turnover differential. So, and that's the kind of defense you like to see. It was fast. They mixed it up really well. There were a couple big plays that they got, but nothing that was going to put this game at risk. From the first snap.
Offense
Really
and
good.
defense, they looked really well coached, which didn't happen the last couple of years a lot. It didn't happen a lot last year. In Shane Steichen's first year, there were times where it looked like, man, this team's really well coached. I just it's odd that it went from last year to coming into so many games not looking like they had a game plan to this year. Today, McDaniels was completely outcoached.
Completely. Completely. And the injuries started adding up for Miami too, and that was another key I thought was really good for the Colts. I think we didn't have too many big injuries or anything like that. We might have one individual cornerback on special teams might have had a pretty serious injury, but looked like a hamstring. But other than that, I think from the injury standpoint, we came out of that pretty clean too.
Yeah. There's one positive for Miami.
What's that?
At least they have nice beaches down in the South.
That's right. They're going to also get to have a new franchise quarterback next year. That's also good news for them.
That's also true. Yeah.
They're the ones that are probably going to get Manning next year.
Probably. Though, they kind of deserve it. It's been a long time since they've had a competent quarterback. Think of their last competent quarterback. His name was Dan Marino.
Yeah.
I mean, they've just gone through. They've gone through way worse than what the Colts have gone through.
Way worse.
I thought Tua was the guy, and he just never was. Dolphins fans today are like, "Oh, time to turn that page." He threw as many passes to the Colts as he did to his own team.
He looked like Sam Darnold when he saw a ghost in New York. That's how bad he was.
Yeah. It was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a NFL starting quarterback. They had 43 yards in the first half. Yes.
So how soon are they going to Zach Wilson? They already did today.
Yeah, I would imagine tomorrow. I would imagine they make that change tomorrow. Wouldn't you?
That bad of a performance? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to think about it.
On the heels of a bad season.
Yeah.
You know.
3 turnovers.
By the way, Atlanta's driving to get into field goal range to tie Buccaneers. Big game in the NFC South. Any other games jump out at you guys?
Saw the Steelers won. Bengals won.
Oh, they did.
Yep. So that's different for the Bengals. They started the season with a win, so they were probably right there with the Colts. What is this? It was 11 years, 11 seasons. We hadn't won an opening game.
12 years, yeah.
Yeah. Bengals usually come out pretty slow too, so really wish the Browns would have won that game. Raiders beat the Patriots. That's a good win for the Raiders.
After Will tried to tell me this week on his podcast that the Patriots are going to be the surprise team of the AFC, I don't buy it. We made a bet, 10.5 games. He took the over, I took the under on the Patriots. I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
I think the Jaguars might be legit.
Hunter he did get on the field for defense too.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I think when I looked last, he had 1 tackle. AFC South's going to be interesting if,
Yeah. I think everybody's good but Tennessee.
Yeah. That game's on now, I think.
Yeah. By the way, whoever wins that division is still worse than Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, Denver, and Los Angeles. Whoever wins the division in the South. Yeah, I mean, maybe not all of them, because at least one of those teams is not going to have the season they expected. But
yeah. But that's general AFC South. That's usually the case for most years, anyway.
Yeah, it really has been for 20 years now. I remember the day that they came out with the new divisions, And everyone was like, oh, well, this is really good for the Colts. It's such an easy division. And I said, yeah, but it's going to change year to year which divisions are good and bad. And the division has never been good for 25 years. I mean, they've had years where one or two teams were decent, or there were a couple of years there where Tennessee and the Colts were two of the top teams, but not for very long. It's always been one of the worst divisions. It's crazy. There was a time it looked like Houston was going to take off as a franchise and never really has. Tennessee and Jacksonville both mostly been pretty bad the last few years. Tennessee's had some good seasons, but Vrabel was a pretty good era. But
Well, it's good to see him lose with the Patriots, though.
yeah, it's great to see him lose with the Titans. Even better to see him lose with the Patriots.
Falcons look like they could tie this game.
All right, let's close it. Lots of good football going on, guys. What are you looking forward to this afternoon or this evening?
Bills Ravens.
Ooh,
Gonna be a good one.
right there. Those are the
That's
best
gonna be
teams by
great.
far.
Mm-hmm. Definitely looking forward to see what happens with the NFC North Packers and Lions. These could be the two best teams in the NFC North, which is not always easy to predict, but it looks like on paper Packers Lions could be an intriguing storyline this coming season in the NFC.
Guys, it could be Packers, Lions in the NFC Championship, Ravens, Bills in the AFC Championship, and those are the two games we're about to get.
This is the last opening day at Highmark Stadium, too, so for the Bills, so.
That's right, new stadium. I'm proud of their fans for saying no roof.
Yes, that was so cool.
Not even a retractable one. They said nope.
Nope, this is football.
Adding a roof got like 0% on the vote. I love it.
Only Buffalo fans are shoveling the seats in the...
Vikings fans swear it's the worst mistake they ever made. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Enjoy.
Thanks so much to Sam and Will for filling in as our Colts guys for now. If you're interested in being our Colts guy, we'd love to hear from you. Give me a text 502-533-3161. Do not call me, please. Text me. We'll set something up. And don't forget that we will have a Colts report this week, midweek, probably on Thursday. Then we will preview the Colts and Titans on Saturday and react to that one like we just did today on Sunday. Do us a favor and share this podcast with a Colts fan in your life and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. Thank you.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.